The Heartbreaking Life of Chester Bennington, the voice that saved millions. There are some voices you hear, and you never forget. Not because they're perfect, but because they're real. For millions of people around the world, Chester Bennington wasn't just the lead singer of Linkin Park. He was the voice of pain, hope, survival, and emotions that so many people struggled to put into words. But behind the powerful screams, unforgettable performances, and worldwide fame was a man quietly fighting battles that very few people could see. This is the extraordinary and heartbreaking story of Chester Bennington. Chester Charles Bennington was born on March 20, 1976, in Phoenix, Arizona. From the outside, he looked like an ordinary kid growing up in suburban America. But life became incredibly difficult at a very young age. His parents divorced when he was still a child, and that changed everything. Like many children caught in the middle of a broken family, Chester felt confused, lonely, and abandoned. The emotional pain only grew stronger as the years passed. Instead of enjoying a carefree childhood, he often felt isolated. Music slowly became his safe place. When the world felt too heavy, music gave him somewhere to escape. Artists like Depeche Mode, Stone Temple Pilots, and other rock bands inspired him to dream of a different future. But dreams alone couldn't erase the pain he carried inside. As a teenager, Chester struggled with depression and addiction. There were moments when life felt completely out of control. Yet deep inside him was a belief that maybe, just maybe, music could save him. And in many ways, it did. Throughout the early 1990s, Chester performed with several local bands. He wasn't famous. He wasn't wealthy. He was simply a young man refusing to give up on the one thing that made him feel alive. Then came the opportunity that would change everything. A California band called Zero was looking for a new lead singer. Chester recorded his audition, mailed it to the band, and flew to Los Angeles to perform in person. The moment they heard his voice, they knew they had found someone extraordinary. Soon, Zero became Linkin Park. No one could have imagined what was about to happen. In October 2000, Linkin Park released their debut album, Hybrid Theory. It wasn't just another rock album. It became a cultural phenomenon. Songs like, In the End, Crawling, One Step Closer, and Papercut spoke directly to people who felt misunderstood, anxious, angry, or alone. Chester didn't just sing the lyrics. He lived them. Every scream carried emotion. Every quiet verse carried pain. Fans felt like he understood them in a way nobody else did. Hybrid Theory sold millions of copies and became one of the best-selling debut rock albums in history. Almost overnight, Linkin Park became one of the biggest bands on earth. World tours, sold-out arenas, award shows, millions of devoted fans. From the outside, Chester seemed to have everything. But fame doesn't erase emotional wounds. Sometimes it only hides them. As Linkin Park released more successful albums, including Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, 1,000 Suns, and others, Chester continued giving unforgettable performances. His energy on stage was unmatched. He could go from a soft whisper to an explosive scream within seconds. People admired his strength. Very few realized how much strength it took just to keep going. Behind the scenes, Chester continued fighting depression and addiction. He spoke openly about how difficult life could be and how important it was to ask for help. His honesty made millions of fans feel less alone. For countless people battling anxiety, depression, or personal struggles, Chester wasn't just a musician. He was hope. He reminded people that their feelings mattered. That they weren't weak. That they weren't alone. In 2017, tragedy struck. One of Chester's closest friends, Chris Cornell, passed away. Their friendship was deep, built on music, mutual respect, and shared struggles. Chris's death devastated Chester. He performed Hallelujah at Chris's memorial service with tears in his eyes. It was one of the most emotional performances of his life. Just 2 months later, on July 20, 2017, the world woke up to heartbreaking news. Chester Bennington had died at the age of 41. Fans around the world were stunned. Social media filled with memories, tributes, and disbelief. People gathered outside concerts, created memorials, lit candles, and played Linkin Park songs together. Millions cried for someone they had never even met. Because somehow, it felt personal. The man whose voice had helped others survive their darkest days had been carrying his own unbearable pain. His passing became a powerful reminder that mental health struggles are often invisible. Someone can smile. Someone can perform in front of thousands. Someone can appear successful, and still be fighting a battle no one else can see. Today, Chester's legacy lives on through his music. Songs like Numb, Breaking the Habit, Somewhere I Belong, Leave Out All the Rest, and One More Light continue touching new generations of listeners. His voice still gives comfort to people facing loneliness, grief, anxiety, and heartbreak. Perhaps that's the greatest legacy any artist could leave behind. Not just hit songs, not awards, not record sales, but hope. Chester Bennington taught us that being vulnerable isn't weakness. It's courage. He showed us that speaking honestly about pain can help others feel understood. And even though his life ended far too soon, the impact of his voice will never fade. Every time someone presses play on a Linkin Park song, Chester lives on. Not only as one of rock music's greatest singers, but as a man who made millions of people feel seen. If there's one lesson his life leaves us with, it's this. Be kind. Check on the people you love. Listen when someone says they're struggling. And never underestimate how much a simple conversation can mean. Because sometimes, the strongest people are the ones silently asking for help. Thank you, Chester, for the music, the honesty, and the unforgettable voice that will echo through generations. Rest in peace.